I wanted to ask about women in horror, because it seems like, from Hitchcock on, but especially in the last few years, more and more horror films are revolving around women. They have female leads and no real female serial killers yet, but we're getting there. But what do you think it is that why women now are kind of at the forefront of horror? Why do audiences want to see women get terrified? When it's done well, it's about like empowerment, but when it's done poorly, it just seems misogynistic. So I'm just kind of curious, like, what are your thoughts on why that is?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard so many different angles on that, and it's really interesting to talk about, actually. I mean, there's been books written about it, and the final girl and what that means, and one of the recent ones I was hearing is that, the final girl is sort of on the same, has a certain connection to the killer. She senses him and is sort of has an awareness of him and on a different level, and it's really an interesting thing. So I think there's so many different ways you can look at it, and philosophically and analytically and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, it's fun to see a girl save the day and kick some ass, and and that's really what it's about for me.
You think that too?
Well, yeah. I mean, I come from the history of projects that sort of involved women being empowered and fighting for themselves, and kicking butt at the end of the day. I think in a horror movie, the great thing about Black Christmas is that it doesn't like go into my whole joke was, it's about a bunch of girls who got killed in a house, but there's so much more because we're all really, really strong characters and all very defined. And so we are in a horror movie and we are running up the stairs, but there's a reason for it, and there's a good camaraderie between the characters. But I feel like in horror movies, the audience just wants to relate, and sometimes females have that emotional value and really that connection with the audience is like right there. So I guess it really taps into our inner child.
Yeah, and there's also, I mean, one of the things I think really differentiates this film from some of the others is there's a real darkly comic. It's actually a comedy in a lot of ways too. It's kind of in the vein of a Scream in that sense, and that it mixes horror and comedy. But was that an appeal for you as well? Was the chance to kind of, not that there's slapstick, but there's certainly like that sort of sarcastic undercurrent to a lot of the interplay. Was that a draw for you guys?
I think that's what makes it fun. I think if you go see a movie about people being killed over and over again and there's no humor to it, I mean, that's emotionally draining to watch. You're going to leave that theater feeling like, oh my God, that was horrible. So I think you have to throw in some humor in there and make it sort of sick and twisted, and you have to sort of delight in the twistedness and just have fun.
Yeah, I think the most effective movies, be it horror or romantic comedy, make you run through just, the whole spectrum of emotions. Basically, we've done our jobs as actors. If the audience is leaving saying, oh God, I hated that person, that was, a really mean thing and everything. Oh, and that was really, really funny. So, they've gone through all the pikes and spikes, whatever, spikes that we want them to go through.
And tell us a little bit about what different, about your characters. You're more kind of conservative.
Yeah, I'm the conservative. I'm Southern. I'm, traditional. So I just want Christmas to be about, everything that it should be about. And when they bring a serial killer into it, and we start having these sort of rituals where we're supposed to give this present to a serial killer who used to live in the house and all these things, my character is very upset about that. So I don't quite fit in with the rest of the girls who are kind of just, having fun and, drinking their wine and kicking back, and I'm a little more uptight. So it was a fun character to play. Cause
I'm the sarcastic wine drinker.
Yeah.
I'm like, there is no killer. We're all good. We're going to live and all that fun stuff. So good dynamic between us.
And just in closing, I wanted to ask, I understand you're in Live Free or Die Hard.
I am.
So are you Bruce Willis's daughter on that?
I am. I'm Bruce Willis's daughter, which is crazy.
It's like having Bruno as your old man. What's
it's
that
cool.
like?
It's been really cool.
It's so funny. Rumor's a friend of mine that's like
really,
next to a fake daughter and a real daughter.
Yeah, no, I had to do a scene a couple weeks with him where I'm like yelling at him, like screaming at him, and at the end, I just thought to myself, I was just screaming at Bruce Willis, like how is that possible? Yeah. And he's just such a cool guy. He's so unbelievably cool that it's just I can't believe it.
Is your I know you probably can't say much about the film, but is your character kind of in peril throughout the
film? A little bit, yeah. She is in peril, but she's not like a damsel in distress. She kind of kicks butt herself, and it's sort of a like father, like daughter kind of thing, which is really cool. I get to be a little bit of a wise ass, and
so Bonnie Bedelia was supposed to be your mom and all
yes,
that.
Yes, she's not in this film, but she's definitely she is my mother technically.
Okay, and tell me a little bit about some of your upcoming stuff that you got cooking.
I have a movie called Beautiful Ohio that's Chad Lowe's directorial debut with William Hurt and Rita Wilson. That'll be coming out next year. A wonderful movie, actually set in the 70s, so I guess I must like that that sort of theme. And I starred another movie called Possibility of Fireflies with Kelly Preston, Chris Klein, also another indie movie. Okay. I like varying it up, big horror and then small, character dramas.
And you also do a lot of TV voice work too.
I haven't really.
No, you haven't?
No. Oh, TV, well, I mean, just, you must be referencing, like, Robot Chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah, Seth Green is one of my closest friends. No, I know. Yeah. And he was just like, he called me up one day and he was like, hey, want to come down to do some voices? And, like, so that's really fun. And you get to, like, make fun of people and make interesting sounds.
So, what is your favorite kind of your favorite horror film? Since this is a big horror movie for you guys.
I don't know. Like, we've been asked this question like all day long, and we're like, oh, here's this movie. But now I'm like starting to think about it. I mean, obviously, Black Christmas.
Oh, there you go.
For sure.
That's perfect way to end this. Okay, great.